Fuck me. Hello. Fuck Mark, can you shut up? Hello, welcome to the Five Side Podcast. It's been a week, maybe the second time we've taken a week in between podcasts, I think. But I'm here, I'm Fergus Smith, and I'm joined by Ross Dewar,
Hello.
Craig Gregor,
Evening.
Billy Kirkpatrick,
Hello.
and the Five-A-Side Podcast very own COVID boy, Matthew Thompson. Welcome.
Evening.
How's the COVID treating you?
It's pretty bad. Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
These things happen in football.
They do.
Just obviously the last episode was the close of the season, and since then a wee bit's happened in terms of the Scottish football. Yeah.
So much has happened. He's lost for words.
Yeah, we'll just go to the top of this list that Mr. Dewar's written.
It's not a very good list. I just wrote it as I've seen it.
That'll do. It'll do. We've added to it since anyway, so yes. So obviously the first thing was on the list is Celtic had a bit of a
shit show.
I didn't want to say that, but
that is the
great.
best way to describe it.
The other day, obviously, as we've mentioned on the podcast, that Celtic were closing in on a deal to bring Eddie Howe to the club. It was expected that they were just like days away from signing the contract, and then out of nowhere, I can't even remember what day it was, but out of nowhere, people started reporting all these things that Eddie Howe would no longer be joining the club after a breakdown in talks. Still uncertain as to what the talks breakdown was, but maybe like an hour or so after this, these started happening. Celtic did release a statement saying that they'd been in advanced talks with Eddie Howe. They expected him to sign, and what was it? Due to reasons uncontrollable by Celtic and Eddie, this deal will no longer be able to go through, or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. It seems like the reasoning is the fact that the backroom staff he wanted to bring didn't want to relocate. Is what believed as the rumour in it is why he's not signing.
Embarrassing.
You'd think that's something they could have found out a wee while ago when they first approached him.
If they first approached him and he said, "I want my backroom staff from that I've had previously," and so I went, "Right, that's fine," but like also we need confirmation that that's going to happen, and then surely you could go away at that point and then go, "Hey boys, who wants to come to Celtic?" And at that point, his backroom staff could have then been like, "Well, it's a bit awkward. I can't get out my contract," or "Nah, I don't want to go to Glasgow." Seems a bit strange that if it was dragged out for so long, like why it was dragged out for so long.
Obviously, we'll never know, but it perhaps could have been lack of funds. I know Celtic aren't known for
Not money. We've got money.
That's certainly
spending
not money.
a lot of money.
It's not money though.
Yeah.
Like, we could bringing in Eddie Howe's team wouldn't be anywhere close to bringing in Brendan's team before. So,
yeah, but then you Champions League football in the regular, and
no, not really, because we haven't qualified for the Champions League group stages under Dyla.
It was just
We didn't have Champions League football in the regular. We only got that when Brendan got there. So like at the point where we hired Brendan, we were still a couple of seasons out the Champions League.
I suppose we'll obviously never know. One thing I was shocked at, because I said to you guys, I was like, surely Celtic don't announce anyway that this has happened, because like I think multiple people have said that then you're announcing to your next manager, because obviously you're still going to have to sign a manager. It's not like we're just going to run managerless for the next however long. You're basically saying, mate, yeah, you're not even nearly first choice. Like,
yeah, you're second choice at best. Like,
We wanted Eddie Howe, but we've ended up with you, mate. Sorry, and that's not going to be ideal for whoever comes in.
Yeah.
Speaking of who's coming in, supposedly, because it was announced very quickly after that, not officially, but
We're in advanced talks.
rumors were that Celtic were in advanced talks with another coach. Very quickly after, obviously, I know they wouldn't have just put all their eggs in one basket. No one's that dumb. They would have been talking to other people. I mean, they probably are still talking to more than one person at the moment, but yeah. Rumors then came through they were talking to someone. No one really knew who it was going to be. And then out of nowhere, out of the dark, comes from someone. Someone reported that it was to be Greek Australian coach Angie Post. Fuck, I forgot his name. I had it
Angie
perfectly.
Postecoglou.
Yeah.
Postecoglou. Oh my god, I had it perfectly before and I forgot it. And I mean, it's a name that I've seen before. Of like, I knew who he was, but I don't know who he is. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. Like he's managed the Australian national team and most. Well, I say most international manager. I don't think I could rattle off like the Algeria manager, or whatever. But most international managers are known in some way or another. So
Yeah,
you would have seen his name
you'll have
about.
seen the name. And I had seen a couple of his bizarre press conferences before as well.
Yeah.
He was a potential Rangers manager at one
He
point.
was before we got Pedro. He was heavily linked actually.
They decided to choose Pedro over him, so that just shows the caliber of manager, in my opinion. So
To be fair, though, they probably chose Pedro over a lot of managers, and some of those managers were probably better than Pedro. I don't know if that shows. I don't know if that shows how bad the other managers were. I think it shows how bad Rangers board were at appointing a
at the
manager.
end of the day, the dogs bark and the caravan moves on.
Yeah, well, our caravan's moving on, and I'm still hoping for Antonio Conte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's another couple names out there, but nothing actually
Obviously,
confirmed yet. But they
if
are
you d-
expecting it to be. People are expecting it to be announced by the end of the week.
Well, obviously, they have to try and find out whether this guy does have his coaching licenses or not, which surely shouldn't be too much of a hassle to try and actually figure it out. But
But
no
also,
one knows about
it's also not. I don't think it's a huge issue if he doesn't, because you just apply and then.
I believe, according to what I've seen, if he doesn't apply for it within the next, I think it's like 2-3 weeks, whoever the assistant manager is, if he has said qualifications, would have to take the first European qualifier.
Yeah, that's 2-3 weeks. We should have. I mean, if we are in advanced stages with him now, it shouldn't take 2-3 weeks for us to make that decision.
I don't know.
No.
How was in advanced talks for about 2 months?
Apparently, how we weren't allowed to announce him because of contractual issues, which was fine. But we're now 100 days since Lennon was sacked. So really, we need to start.
I think as well. I'm not 100% sure on it, but like I've seen someone saying that once you apply or whatever to get the UEFA Pro license, that they can grant like an exemption to the rule, so then you would be allowed to take charge of matches.
Yeah, I think once you're in the process of actually doing the qualification,
getting it, yeah.
Then yeah.
Because I do believe that Steven Gerrard didn't have his badges when he first joined Rangers, and it was the same situation for him. We had to like obtain them.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not too big of an issue, and then Celtic can try and sort out their managerial problems before the season starts.
The thing is, they actually don't have very long. Like, it won't be long before yours is over and the season's about to start.
Yeah, I think the Celtic squad are still obviously the ones. There's some at the Euros and on international duty, but the Celtic squad aren't due back for another 2 weeks or something from their holidays.
Well, obviously the four Scots are at the. I think it's four, isn't it? Taylor, McGregor, Turnbull, and Christie. Not anymore. Henry, I guess, as well. Yeah.
Henry technically, yeah, but
so
we'll get on to him because there's been rumours.
And obviously Ayer as well for Norway.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the four Scots.
Yeah,
the ones that will be there until the 11th of July, the final.
The
Mhm.
final.
They'll get a wee break after that as well.
I would say that they'll have alcohol poisoning after that,
Yeah.
so that'll be another
I think
month.
I think they'll get a wee break, but I don't see it being a 2-weeker or
Well,
anything. Because
usually when they're in the Euros, it's the teams that get to the latter stages. I think they get usually about 2 or 3 weeks.
Where is the final?
I suppose
Wembley.
We know yet.
Finals
Wembley.
at Wembley, yeah.
Oh.
And so
I suppose
so
it will
both
depend. It will
sets.
depend on what. It will depend on what stage of preseason / qualifiers Celtic are at that point.
Yeah, true.
Because like, I think if they're at a crucial stage of qualifiers, they're not going to turn around and go, "Oh yeah, key players, you can just have an extra 3 weeks off while we try and muddle through this."
Well, it's not about having it's the fatigue problems as well, because obviously they're not going to have
Well, yeah, but
that rest. But so you don't want to rush them back straight into playing football.
if you know where I'm
but
coming from,
yeah.
though, that's that was that. Yeah, hopefully we get someone in the next by the end of the week. To be honest, obviously with that as well, Celtic are supposedly under some form of rebuilding stage. Don't know what the fuck's happened really. All you can really go on is rumors because they're not gonna formally announce anything until anything happens. Really,
No, there's no manager,
Yeah.
so there's not really. You can't
Mhm.
really do much else.
Also, I just came up with a thought that if he does come, how many weeks? Is it 2 weeks quarantine you have to take from Japan? I actually don't know off the
If
top
you
of
come
my head.
in professional under a sports
Yeah.
thing, you don't have to.
Elite sportsmen get exemptions, obviously. So
Including that.
yeah. Well, on the topic of managers in the top league as well, we've got Steven Gerrard been linked with the Everton job, which is a very strange one.
I don't think he'll go.
No, I can't imagine.
I wouldn't see him going either.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would go to his boyhood rivals. That's like,
You could maybe get him to go to another Prem team that isn't Liverpool, but surely not Everton.
Yeah. What was
Eddie Howe's also heavily linked with Everton as well.
Well, I seen and Eddie Howe was not in their candidates list as far as I've seen, but there was two rival teams associated, which was Benitez and Gerrard, and then two ex-managers and Martinez and Moyes. So really just going for people that their fans didn't really like very much. So
No, I'm Moyes would go back. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a great time at Everton, but
well, yeah, he's just saying a new 3-year deal with
No.
West Ham, so I can't see him going.
yeah, he's had a good season at West Ham. I don't see why he would
Yeah.
either. Everton's going to be tough. I don't like it.
They've also got
I wouldn't like that.
other managerial appointments across the road.
Yes, Inverness announced this morning that they'd appointed Billy Dodds as their new head coach for the first team.
I think Dunfermline announced our day Peter Grant, which was a strange one for me because he didn't do very well.
Billy's taking a breath.
Yep.
Two cheap options. Boards lacking ambition. Peter Grant. I mean, God, you'd be better with bloody Cary Grant, the singer.
Thanks, Phil.
And Billy Dodds, good. Let's say good assistant. Okay assistant. Will he be a good manager? Will he push Inverness for the promotion places? Time will tell. I think not.
And me and Billy do know all about going for the cheap option,
Mm-hmm.
which did leave us in turmoil last season. But
You mean your Morton reject?
well, no, that's not the cheap option anymore. Pay a wee bit more for him.
Outside of the Premiership, Brecon, manager and backroom staff all left.
Probably too expensive.
Contracts were terminated, I believe. I mean, it's just bad things keep happening to Brecon, and it was also during the week that they tried to join the Lowland League or wanted to join the Lowland League, offering money every time a team has to play away from home.
Free admission as well, wasn't it?
Free admission for away fans, a couple other incentives, but they were probably, in my eyes, rightfully told where to go by every single Lowland League club. So as it stands, they will be in the Highland League.
Yeah.
It's a weird place. It's not really that near any of the places.
I think the Highland League's slightly skewed as well when you go on the average distances travelled for games from Brecon, because obviously Wick is fucking absolutely miles away from everyone.
Yeah.
So
But
that kind of skews the numbers a little bit.
even the rest of them though, like they're not that. It's not as if the rest of them are around the corner and then Wick's just miles away.
Yeah, I know, but
They're all still
like,
relatively far away. Same with the whole. Because I suppose you get the Lowland. Who's the first South team in the Lowland League?
Gretna.
Oh fuck, I Gretna. Yeah, so that'll be. That'll be closer than Wick though, won't it?
Yeah. Wick is the furthest place away.
Yeah, it's closer than Wick, but
Berwick Rangers maybe.
Oh yeah,
Gretna not further south technically.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll look
I
into
don't know. They're both very far away from Brecon.
One's north,
Yeah.
one's
Let's put it
north
that way.
east.
You've got
If
they're in the Highland League as
I
well. They
don't-
get their biannual scudding of Fort William, which is it's always good for Highland League teams.
there is teams worse than Fort William in the Highland League as well.
Well, there is now, yeah.
Just putting that out there. Strathspey Thistle they're always up for getting absolutely pumped 10-0. So, yes.
All right, we can get a game for them.
I really reckon we could actually. Where were we? Done that. Championship manager of the season, James McPake.
Didn't start off the best with Dundee. They were kind of average, and then they did do very well to manage to get themselves up at the end of the season, and obviously get themselves promoted.
They built up a head of steam and took on the playoffs, and
I don't know. I really don't know who else you could have given it to because I feel like there's no way in hell that Hearts were good enough.
Yeah.
Nah, because they had a squad that really should have
Yeah, so who else
done a lot better in that league.
Like Campbell or something? I don't know. They had a decent finish.
Nah.
Quality, but
well,
I wouldn't give it to anyone else.
Rafe
to be
did
honest.
quite well, to be fair. Coming up,
yeah, but they bought.
they did bottle at the end, yeah. Neil
But yeah, obviously
McCann,
like,
if he was
he got
here,
Dundee promoted.
if Neil McCann was at Inverness for longer, he might have been in for a shout, but
Nobody likes Neil McCann.
true.
No.
That wasn't anything.
Talking of Dundee, they completed a signing today. They signed Luke McCowan from Ayr. Craig's been crying
It's a tough one because
all morning.
he didn't quite live up to what I thought he was going to when he first came in, but he was a very good player, obviously, and I do think with the right players around him, he will be a fantastic player. Obviously, Ayr with no striker this season, really, well, no good striker any this season. Like he's struggled with, providing and stuff like that. Because obviously, he's got 36-year-old Moff, who's not exactly making darting runs through the middle for him to play good balls. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it'd be a good
He
signing
had some
for
moments
Dundee.
of magic. Yeah, it's a good signing. Well, it could be a good signing for Dundee. It'll be interesting to see how he fares at the next step up, the next level up.
What is interesting that Ayr United League One winning side now. A lot of them are playing up there. You've got Shankland, Liam Smith, Daniel Harvey obviously moved down to England.
Declan
McDade, Forrest. It's a good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Forrest.
Yeah, that squad's kind of gone on and built decent careers off the back of that. To be honest,
It's a good side.
and some decent seasons in the Championship as well for some of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'll help them. Talking to Ayr, they've just gone out and they've signed 3, 4 ex-Morton
I
players
think we're at 4 now.
in the last week.
But to be fair, we've signed two centre halves. One supposedly a donkey, and one supposedly quite good.
One supposedly a donkey.
Just basing it on Morton fans' comments, but Morton, even though they didn't do very well, they did concede the third least goals in the league somehow. and so
Just couldn't score you.
yeah. So I mean, maybe it's not the worst thing signing the defenders as long as we don't try and go nab their attackers, because they did worse than our attackers, which is a problem.
The 30-year-old mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ayr need to do a little bit of recruiting, build on that squad, especially defensively, I think, before the next season starts. And it starts very soon.
It does.
And
10th
at
of
least
really-
one decent striker as
10th
well.
The 10th
10th
of
of July
July,
is the first game.
first game in the Premier Cup.
Are they gonna
Premier Sports Cup, sorry.
when Scotland get the Euros final? Do you think they'll postpone that?
Nah.
Anyway.
It
Nah.
won't affect anyone in the group stages.
I know, but
Yeah,
just for
I mean, yeah, it's a
national
holiday, surely. Yeah.
Yeah.
week.
Get out of the group stage, it's going to be a national holiday.
Yeah,
And then every
exactly.
game we win after that, a new national holiday.
If we win any game, it'll be a national holiday.
Well, yeah, because we're only going to win 2 because we've decided we're not winning the group.
Nah, you don't want to
We'll
win the
only
group.
We'll finish second with 4 points. I'll take it.
Like if we win the first 2 games, we have to throw that game against Croatia.
Yeah. The thing is, though, if we win the first game, and I say 4 points, though, but I'm not playing for a draw against England.
No.
Got to win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the groups for the Premier Sports Cup group stage were drawn the other day.
It's quite even groups, I'd say. I said, like,
Oh yeah,
there's
not obviously the teams in the groups aren't even.
yeah.
But,
There's no
I know what you mean.
like
there's no death group.
yeah, like there's no group where I was like as an Air fan, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get that group. There's also no group I'm like, oh, I wish I'd got that group. But the only team I would wish we had would be Kelly. But then we are playing Kelly 5 times this season, so that 4's enough.
Yeah. 8 groups. I think Ayers group Hamilton again.
Albion Rovers
Falkirk, Albion Rovers,
again.
and Edinburgh City.
Edinburgh City again.
I mean, a decent transfer to get.
Yes,
Out
as
that
long
group.
as we don't ball it against Hamilton like we did last season.
And don't bottle it against the wee teams. Any other groups of note?
Sorry, who did Ayr get?
We just read it out, Matt. Come on.
Karen's making noise outside.
Go away, Karen. Ayr got Hamilton, Falkirk, Albion, and Edinburgh City.
That's pretty doable.
Yeah. But probably I wouldn't like to be in Group H. I mean, it's not like a brilliant group, but St Mirren, Dunfermline, Steny, Partick, Dumbarton. I mean, there's 3 teams in there that could probably win that group.
Yeah. Partick, they are doing some good stuff at the transfer window, to be fair. So, they will
seem to be dumping a lot of money into some new signings.
They do seem to be dumping a lot of money into some new signings. Yeah. As long as they don't like dump loads of money into some shit players,
That would be poo.
it would be pretty poo for them. Yeah.
Can we stop?
But speaking of Partick,
Yes.
they are supposedly getting Scott Tiffany on a permanent deal.
And they did sign another Scot. No, they did not.
Thanks for that.
Nope.
You just messed up names now.
Yeah, ignore me.
Get it together.
You mean Ross? Are you talking about Ross McIver? Or?
Yes, they did. They signed Ross McIver on a 1-year deal yesterday.
They also signed
then-
Kyle Turner as well.
And they signed Kyle Turner yesterday as well.
He's into the squad. I think they've got a good chance of doing quite well next season. They look like a decent side.
Yeah, I think, but every team in that, well, league. Fuck me, I'm having a nightmare. That league has potential to do.
Yeah, like we've said multiple times, it's such a hard. I couldn't call that league, to be fair. Except Kelly, they're going to finish last.
It can be quite a tight and tense league, and when it's quite tight and tense, you can feel quite pained. When you're not at that top end of the table. Especially when you're down towards the bottom, it can be quite tight and tense.
Yeah, I do agree. Yes.
Yeah, they also 4 players, I think they said, had signed up to new deals, but I did not click on it to see who.
Ross Doherty is one of them. I know that.
Yeah.
Richard Foster's one of them.
Yeah, with Richard Foster, you don't mean Amy McDonald's partner. That's how he's referred.
That's really the only way I know.
Yeah.
Or other articles is UEFA Cup UEFA Cup finalist and Amy McDonald's husband.
Mm-hmm.
You ever say his name?
Andy McDonald.
Andy McDonald.
Andy McDonald. Right, okay, I get you now.
No, Andy McDonald.
I heard Andy McDonald.
Shea Gordon.
Yeah.
And then
I think Partick will do quite well next season. I think it'll be thereabouts.
I think they'll be top 4 or challenging. I don't think they'll go down, because last time McCall brought another team up. We won't talk about that team. They done pretty well first season up in the championship. So
yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, I think that team did quite well when they were doing quite well the second season he was there as well, and then he decided to leave them and be a rat and get relegated by our team. So,
hey, what's your vote?
Kelly, they're a championship team now, aren't they?
They are a championship team now.
Not long though. They'll be a League One team shortly.
They will be. But they made a signing. They made a signing today, to hopefully try and stop them from becoming a League One team. Ewan Murray signed for them.
Yeah, quite a good signing. I mean,
He's an all right
certainly
player.
better than the statues of last season. I think wherever he's been, he's done not too bad. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it was a bit mincing that time that Wraith pumped him from 5-1. So
I mean, Kelly needs to sign players because, as rumours go, they've only got like 5 players or something for next season.
They've now got 5 after he's signed today.
Well, that's confirmed today that Ross Mellon has left the club as well. So he's obviously not accepted his new deal.
So sad. Ex-championship club, Heart of Midlothian. 11 players leaving in the summer there. Now
They
here.
keep Craig Gordon.
I don't know. I don't know the players that are leaving.
Because he's on a rolling contract. I think he was just on like a 1-year rolling contract, was he not?
I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. He's more than capable.
No, I'm not saying he should leave. I think he probably would be as well staying, to be honest. He'll probably get more money at Hearts than he will a lot of the other SPL teams. So he can definitely do the job.
Definitely.
It'll be interesting to see who Hearts bring in. Obviously, it's a huge window for them because they don't want to just come up and go straight back down again. And the way they play at times, they need massive changes to stay up. Because this season they were just so unbelievably inconsistent.
They're not going to change their manager because they'll have seen that as a good season.
Well, Dundee United did pretty much the exact same, though.
Yeah, but that's because he left.
Take the job at Hearts. I
know.
He's a championship manager at best. So
it's not like he's gonna like up sticks and go. I want to go to Kelly. I want to go manage Kelly. That'll be fun.
Yeah, but if you look at it, I suppose, and be like, well, can he at least do better than Ross County? Like teams like Ross County, just teams like Ross County, maybe Dundee as well.
Like Dundee will actually do quite well when they go up.
Maybe, probably. I mean, the Dundee County's quite well, so there'll be somewhere in the bottom six. I think
there'll be a surprise package.
They should do decent.
I'd like to see St Mirren try and keep up their form, but it feels like a big ask.
Needs like a good
new championship club as well. Hamilton. They lost Ross Callahan. Someone's typed.
He part of his contract is allowed to leave if they get relegated. So
yeah, he's too good for the championship. To be fair, I think.
He was probably Hamilton's best player by quite a bit this season.
Yeah, he'll get picked up pretty quickly. He doesn't have our club, does he?
Not yet. No.
Not at this moment in time.
No,
Not at the moment, but
find one easy enough, I think.
someone is likely to pick him up. To be honest,
Yeah, I don't think he'll struggle.
no, I won't. St Mirren are interested in Burke, is what's written down here.
Yeah,
There's multiple Burkes.
Chris Burke, for
What was it,
reference.
Bollyberg, was it?
You never
I mean, it
fucking
would be
know
some
Scottish
signing for St
football.
Mirren if it did.
Yeah,
But, you know.
because apparently Chris Burke isn't interested in playing
Who would've thought?
Championship football next season.
I wouldn't be interested in playing Championship
I mean,
football.
I'll be very surprised if Kyle Lafferty
Obviously, that's all
is interested in
speculation,
playing
but
Championship football. So, yeah, he could
Go
go
to
back to
Hearts.
Hearts.
obviously might be going. The
Back to
talks
Hearts.
last week were Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and the last thing club-wise that's on the list, added by your very own Craig, Stranraer are in the
They
mud.
are. They're pretty much in the mud. They've had some disastrous couple of weeks. Started with their two board members leaving because he disagreed with the chairman, and then the chairman left, and then the manager left, and it's a bit of a shambles for them.
Nobody wants to live in
So-
Stranraer anyway.
No, but yeah, Rip Stranraer. I think memory passes me, but there may or may not have been me and Craig singing about Stranraer being in the mud, but I was very
What,
drunk, so
And I don't know.
in the pub or near the
No,
pub.
we wouldn't
or
do that because
at
they're
some
not in the mud.
point.
They're just in a poor run of form.
I think about,
Uh-huh.
I think you'll find that singing is
that's-
against
that's
the
what I'm
rules in the
saying.
pub.
We wouldn't-
So, not
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we were talking then. We were talking in the pub about it
Yeah.
because you're allowed to go to the pub. By the way, that's fine.
I'm not.
No, you're not allowed to leave your room.
No,
Solitary confinement, boy.
it's smaller than solitary confinement. Okay.
If anyone wants to feel more sorry
Yep.
for Matt, it is in fact his birthday today as well. So, stuck in
Birthday,
solitary
Matt.
confinement
That's
on
my
his
birthday.
birthday.
I kind of forgot about that, to be honest.
That's the first time I've said happy birthday to Matt. But happy birthday, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. Title.
Yes.
Well, that
Uh,
I was going to say moved on to Scotland. I think.
Scotland. Yeah. Scotland, bonny Scotland. What a place to be from. And it all doesn't officially kick off, but we kick off our summer of Scottish football because we're going to be in it for the long run. Obviously, tomorrow evening. But obviously, knowing Scotland, it doesn't go without a bit of nonsense, and it was announced today that a member of the squad had tested positive for coronavirus
But don't
while
worry.
in Spain in the training camp.
But don't worry.
And that
It was
It was only John
only
Fleck.
John Fleck.
it was only
Um,
John Fuckwit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Bit harsh.
He'll be back by
He
the
will.
first game, yeah.
Is he back for the second friendly? Because everything I've seen hasn't ruled him out the second
well,
one.
it depends. It depends.
No, he
when
won't be
his
back for the
symptoms
second
started.
friendly.
Because I think you
Oh,
got
yeah,
10
true.
days.
Well, no, he
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
well,
have
that's
symptoms.
10 days from your testing.
Well, yeah, so he won't be.
So it depends. Yeah, it's
but
Sunday. So I
I'd
don't
be
think he'll
surprised
back.
if they didn't call someone up to replace him because he's not going to have trained with the squad in those 10 days. So it will be
I hope it's gold.
a tough one. Jure said he hopes
Sorry?
it's called.
I hope. Yeah,
Well,
I hope
he's
it's.
He is already in
Very
Portugal, so
cold.
no.
It'd be easy enough.
Just takes his car.
Yeah, I think also that's up to them.
Yep.
Oh,
I think gold's probably a good idea. Obviously, he had quite a good season in Portugal. Probably match sharp.
I just don't. Well, personally, I don't see them.
I don't know. Like I
Calling
think
him I could
if
I
he
could understand them
if he
calling
can
someone
come
up,
back, then
but uh-huh.
you think they call up though?
Well, that's I don't know, but it's more likely to be like if they did need to replace John Fleck in the squad, it would be like a like for like change instead of.
yeah. But who's
calling
there
someone up.
like for like? I guess.
Well, I don't know because
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone, but
Uh,
Steve Clark will have a list of folk that are more John Fleck minded, but I suppose that's up to him, because we've been training in Spain for coming up in a week now. So
Yep, more and more in a training camp for our games in Scotland.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
well, yeah, but we're warmer at the training camp for our games in Scotland, and then for our games in Scotland, we're going to be based in England,
Mhm.
for our training.
Where's everyone? Middlesbrough, is it?
Yeah,
How?
halfway between Hampden and Wembley, obviously.
I guess so, but aren't two of the games at Hampden?
Yes. Don't ask me, okay? Maybe their usual training facility is being used during the summer.
The original training facility at the Orium was booked by the Czech Republic, but now the Czech Republic aren't going. But the SFA felt that it wasn't suitable to cancel the preparations that they had made for Middlesbrough, so they're sticking with it.
Didn't also Croatia? Did they also not have training for Scotland? And
They
they
were
also
meant to
had
be-
to cancel.
They were meant to be based in St Andrews, but have decided to pull out as a response to the Scottish government's COVID-19 policy.
So just to clarify, that in our group, England obviously and Scotland were the only teams not based in Scotland at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
How did our own training facility get booked out before us?
because
Oh,
obviously the
first come,
Czechs
first
made
serve.
it to the Euros before us, so they booked it out first.
We should have preliminary booked it out, but like just in
But
case.
the Czechs now will be operating. They'll be flying from the Czech Republic to each of the games.
Oh really?
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Croatia's plans yet to be confirmed.
Was that
See, I
Sonio?
would have thought it would have made more sense, because do the Czech Republic and Croatia play each other in Scotland, in Glasgow? Or am I getting that wrong?
I think they do. Yeah.
Is Matt muted himself?
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
they do.
well, I think they do. As far as I'm aware, they do. But yeah, so it would have made sense for them to both be based in Scotland. It also would have made sense for us to be based in Scotland, but
No,
we move. So obviously, yeah, our first friendly's tomorrow, and that's at 7:45 our time, and it's in Portugal,
I'm excited.
and it's against the Netherlands. So not the easiest friendly, but
I think it's the type of team we should be playing in a friendly, to be fair.
I think it's a good first friendly to play. I don't think either team's going to play like a strongest 11 sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I think Steve Clark. It's surely maybe the Netherlands one. At least has a squad like a starting 11 similar to what he's thinking.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of those ones where it'll be like most of the strong players, and then players that maybe
At least-
haven't played
You'll
Yeah.
probably do maybe like
together, or
a,
maybe haven't
a
played recently and
60-30.
stuff.
I know quite a lot of managers like the 60-30 for pre-season friendlies.
Yeah, we'll see. See how it goes. I trust Steve.
Yeah, I think it should be a good game. Hopefully, we obviously like if we win the game, then we're not going to take it for granted as being like this is how the rest of the Euros is going to go. But
I think it'll be a good barometer to see where our weak points are and where we could be improving. So it's a win-win.
yeah, obviously, we'll just wait and we'll let Craig back in.
I thought he was dumped out.
Now he's back.
Ah,
He's
crap.
flushed the issues away.
That's good.
Yep. Craig said something, but yeah. Welcome
Did I
back,
miss
Craig.
much? I'm back.
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
Spoke about the Scotland game.
How we're going to
Tomorrow's Scotland game.
Yeah,
pump the Netherlands 5-0.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Before I did leave, I was mentioning Champions League winner Billy Gilmore.
What? Why? What were we talking about?
About being in Portugal.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Unless he didn't come back. Although I've seen the Man United players aren't going to play for 2 weeks after their Europa League final. Like any player that was in the squad that's been called up to the national team, it's either 10 days or 2 weeks. They won't be eligible for their national team to play.
Why?
I don't know. It's been in their contract basically because or not in their. I don't know. It's an agreement with the club. It said that anyone that played.
Well, that seems dumb.
I don't know how that looked at McTominay, but that was what they were saying about Rashford for the England game.
Well, you know what Steve Clark should do? He should just say "fuck off, Man United."
It's a gentleman's agreement they've made with the England squad, but they didn't mention it specifically to England. Although I know it was Sky Sports and their commentary is completely unbiased.
True.
Yes.
But they did say that any Man United player wasn't going to be like eligible to, and Reece James as well won't be playing. I don't think.
So when was that? The Europa League final a week tomorrow?
Yeah, so
it was.
They're going to be shy for right backs. They've got no Reece James.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that Scott McTominay wouldn't be able to take part in either of Scotland's friendlies.
I don't know if that was what they were saying in Sky Sports. The England, they were referring specifically to Marcus Rashford, but if it's been agreed with the national teams,
where was the final? Gdansk.
Poland, yeah.
Didn't know whether it was like a COVID issue of not being able to play for 10 days or not, man.
No, I think it was just like a rest agreement with the clubs because they had quite a busy. Mind how United had like that, they had like 5 games in 10 days or something like that, and then not much rest for the final. So
fuck that.
Fuck
having to patch off one of our best players. For both our friendlies before our major tournament.
Even if it was a friendly, it's like technically the most important friendly because it's the only one that should be competitive.
The other one, against a big team.
The other one we should win if we actually wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Netherlands one is the one where we see where we're going to like walk the Euros or where it's going to be hard for us. And
I don't think it'll be hard for us. But
just while we're on the Netherlands game, everyone want to just tell me what they think the score is going to be. Netherlands first, Scotland second, because the Netherlands are the home team.
Yeah.
Craig, if you'd like to.
I'm going to go for the old classic score draw, 1 each.
Billy, do you have any?
Netherlands to win 3-1.
Well, that's what I was saying.
3-1. Ross?
Netherlands to win 2-0.
Billy stole my prediction, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to 2-1 to the Netherlands. But I think it's going to be one of those games where we'll have a good go at it for the first, I'd maybe saying like an hour before they make proper changes to the squad. And then I honestly don't really care too much about the result as long as we start to play some decent football.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I think it will be a tricky game, but
you don't want to lose either. But
yeah, I don't want to I think the Netherlands will win it, depending what they turn up with. But I'll go with Matt here, and I'll go 2-1 to the Netherlands. But it wouldn't surprise me if somehow Scotland managed to find some way to pull something off.
I think the Netherlands are they've got good players with an average manager.
Who's their manager?
Frank de Boer.
Oh yeah, the guy that fucked it with Crystal Palace.
Yeah. It just obviously they also don't have their best centre half, but they do still have some good centre halves.
Ridiculously good centre halves. So yeah.
But we've got ridiculously good centre halves too, so we've trumped them in that one.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Lest.
Our second friendly is Sunday. A bit earlier in the evening, but it's 5 p.m. and that's against Luxembourg. I think this will be the sort of the one where players will get tested out.
Yeah,
it's where you'd
experiment with it a bit. I think
you'd like to see our strikers trying to get some confidence as well.
Yeah, so hat trick for every forward.
Well, yeah, but ideally, but we're not going to win 15 now. It's going to be at least 18.
Yeah, because it's not like they have to worry about the fitness at this point because it's obviously you still got like a week and a bit after that game.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like a quick succession games in that then. So you could technically play your strongest team if you wanted to, but obviously you could see you'll want to try out different players and try out different styles, see if we can find one. Like if we are losing a game, maybe we'll have a system that's more attacking that we can play to. To try and get back into the games.
Yeah, it was certainly one to get like the fringe players game time.
Yeah.
So like some of these defenders that probably aren't going to be his first choice. Like Greg Taylor, I reckon he'll get some game time then, just to get him up to speed, sort of ready if he is needed to be called on in one of the group matches.
But obviously, the players, the so-called fringe players, they'll be looking at this match thinking, okay, like if I'm playing this match, like say for example, I can't see Turnbull being in the starting 11, but I can see him.
No.
I can see him playing that Luxembourg game, so it could be his chance where. But if I go and put in a good performance here, maybe I will be in my shout for the starting 11.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and impress. Really, like they won't see themselves as fringe players so much.
No, I don't think you can.
Yeah. So
everyone in that squad's going to be thinking, I can push for being in the starting 11. I think maybe the only ones that
Greg Taylor not starting at the
only ones.
First game.
Well, the only ones you really wouldn't expect to be in that position would be the goalkeepers, really.
Yeah, I can. I think David Marshall is a certainty to start, pretty much.
Yeah.
And John McLaughlin probably has the best stats this season, but he's probably the third choice goalkeeper.
He's only played like, is it 12 games, 15 games or something? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's played really well, but
I mean,
how many games?
When you've got such a good defence in front of him,
it doesn't help. You're talking about Scotland, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Thanks,
what, 12 games in the league? I think 15 games in total, 9 clean sheets, 10 clean sheets.
Can't remember exactly, but he does have good stats.
Yeah, he's got some good stats.
I'll say it and I'll say it again. Our best goalie, Scottish goalie, is retired. So sad.
That's great. What are we supposed to do about
that? It's
sad that we can't have our best.
Not very relevant, is it?
No, it's not because he's retired.
Yeah, if he hadn't retired, probably be in the squad. Or would be obviously.
Yeah, he'd be starting goalie.
Yeah.
Not blessed with good goalies.
Would he have saved those penalties, or Drew?
No,
probably.
We wouldn't be at the Euros.
Penalties.
Never.
So Luxembourg, Scotland. In Luxembourg, Craig, what do you reckon the score is going to be?
I'm going to go for 4-0 to Scotland.
2-0 Scotland.
I'm going to say 7-0.
Fucking hell.
It's Luxembourg.
It is Luxembourg.
2-1 Scotland. I've been realistic. Yeah.
I think we're going to concede to Luxembourg.
Yes,
our defence is.
I'm going 9-0.
9-0. Okay.
We're going to absolutely fucking rattle them.
In typical Scotland fashion, I can't wait to beat the Netherlands and then get pumped off Luxembourg.
Lose 1-0, yeah.
It'll be the world's worst goalless draw, or we will win 1-0 with an own goal.
And then everyone will go into the Euros with no confidence. Everyone's fairly confident right now.
The thing is, though, they need to give us some sort of reality check before we go. We can't expect to win, because then when we do win...
Yeah, it's not as good, yeah. And I've seen a big question about the Euros today of which player in the squad would you most like to see score the winning goal against England? And there was a lot of calls for Declan Gallagher, so the articles of convicted criminal scores the winner.
I think, personally, the only way I'll ever be able to truly forgive Stuart Armstrong...
Yeah, I've seen calls for that as well, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it as well, and I thought, you know what, if he did, then it would be okay. It's been, 4 years of pain?
Yeah.
Like a few days, actually.
Che Adams.
Yeah, like I was thinking, someone was saying like Che Adams or McTominay, one of the ones that could have played for England.
Che Adams, one who was holding out for them to call him up at some stage, and it would be funny if he just came in and scored a hat trick against them.
Or David Marshall. But I don't think we're sending the goalie up at nil.
Up for a header or a long hoof.
Well, I don't think we're going to send them up if we're 0-0. It's not like we're at Liverpool chasing a win. Like a draw wouldn't even be the worst result. So I doubt we're going to send them. It's going to be a hoof.
I just hope, like building up the England game, I hope training is just learning how to play the ball out of danger when you're winning in the last minute. And then,
right, Stuart. See you. Hoof.
Well,
That's
that
all it is.
the hoof was probably the best. Well, not it was the hoof probably wasn't even the best option. It was the safest option. But you also had
Well-
Chris Martin to the other side, which had no one on him, and he was free. He could have ran.
No
he
one
could have
wants to
got-
give the ball to Chris Martin.
That's a
Um,
name we've not heard in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I heard it the other day because I was watching a Coldplay set from the Radio 1 Big Weekend.
Yeah.
so
He's a
So
practicing that, and also practicing. And I hope David Marshall's getting lessons on how to come out and catch a ball when it's crossed in the last minute.
got to try and claim.
yes, I hope everyone's getting trained for the England match, which isn't even our first game at the Euros. I hope they're getting trained on how to clear the ball and not lose the game in the last
I
minute.
wouldn't think our centre halves of Grant Hanley and Declan Gallagher, especially Declan Gallagher, plays for fucking Motherwell. They know how to hoof the ball.
They do.
I guess Norwich probably do try and pass it a bit.
Kieran Tierney, he knows how to hoof the ball. Arsenal are gash, so
Well, he's usual with
Depends on what
hoof
team
it up and hope Aubameyang running forward. Is
I know he's
so he'll hoof it up and hope that Lyndon Dykes is running through.
Ryan Fraser.
No, Lyndon Dykes.
But it'll be,
Any other business anyone would like to take care of?
well, I believe Dure had announced earlier that Rangers were taking shares or something, or selling shares.
Taking chairs.
Yeah, they're taking shares.
They're trying to raise 6.8
million or something, was it?
Yeah, 6.8 million. I believe it's to try and include more of the fans for the long-term future of it being a fan.
Money issues.
Money issues.
Oh, you've never signed how because of money issues.
That's not why we didn't sign how.
Just nonsense. He comes out with nonsense every day of the week.
Well,
Nonsense boy.
I'm not saying that when money's never stopped us doing things, but we can afford Eddie Howe.
well,
It's
you
that
didn't.
expensive. We don't have him, no, but that's not because we couldn't afford him.
What else? So there's Scotland. The coefficient rankings officially being confirmed now. All the
Thank you, Rangers.
things are confirmed, so they are officially 11th. For the start of next season anyway, and for the start of the season after, they will be up to 9th.
And hopefully, the clubs
9th minimum anyway.
with being more clubs in, they can put in a decent showing, and maybe a few of them can get group stage football.
Well, St Johnson or Hunts were a draw.
Yeah, but then they
you never know.
move into the playoff, the Europa League, the Europa Conference, which isn't still not an easy draw for them. But with this new Europa Conference, will be hopeful
If they do get and obviously for our Norwegian listeners, I hope I don't murder the pronunciation, but if they do get Midgetland, I honestly do think they could give them a fairly good game.
It's not even close.
I know it's not close, but you'll know what I'm talking
What
about.
we call it in Scotland,
They must realise that's how all British folk pronounce it.
Yeah,
It is.
Yep.
I think that's the best team they could get out of their possible combinations.
I mean, we've seen last season that St Johnstone in cup games, they're hard to beat. But it's obviously
they're in this situation. They're in this situation because they were hard to beat and they did well in cup competitions.
Obviously, it's a bit different playing like European games, but they did put out Rangers as well. Like, obviously, they did maybe got a wee bit lucky with the late goal, the goalkeeper coming up, but you've got to take your luck at
They
these
can go
points.
toe to toe with these teams.
Yeah, not
Especially
everyone-
obviously the Norwegian team that we spoke about, who I'll not try and pronounce again.
I don't know yet.
Massacre again.
I mean, Rangers wiped the floor with them, so
Yeah.
I reckon they would at least St Johnstone would give them a very good game.
I do think we'll see a better Hibs side next season. And they've got that wee bit extra European money coming in, and they've got a good solid squad just now. They can maybe add to it a bit more and push forward. Obviously,
I just hope. Yeah, I hope Scottish teams can build on this.
it's a big opportunity.
And it's extra money as well if we can go
Yeah.
places with it
That's
and move further up the list. Like
as they get better. Obviously, like if third place in Scotland gets Champions League football, obviously that helps them to attract more players, and
Yeah, a lot more comes in.
Yeah, so it's a big win, like domino effects where you start doing better, you then are able to get even better. So
I think also the key thing though, like obviously like the teams that are in the Champions League would deserve to be benefited more than other teams. But like hopefully I'm not like nothing's confirmed, but hopefully like if we do keep moving up the rankings and scoring decent points, hopefully money gets sort of other teams get some more like inflow of money
yeah,
because we don't want a league where it's like the top three all get Champions League football and just like dominate everyone else, and then you get like a team coming up from the Championship, and they basically just get like smashed about.
well,
I
yeah,
think
I don't think that would happen because I think like the teams at the top improving does also benefit the teams lower down. Like even
Yeah.
the teams in Championship, teams in League One, they improve as well. They get better.
Yeah, like because money gets distributed about and
You're feeding the system.
um, yeah, more prize money for lower leagues and stuff, and hopefully it's a step in the right direction for Scottish football as a whole.
And they still not have a title sponsor, is that correct, for the league?
No,
Yes, the league do not have a title sponsor as it stands.
Because the SFA suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I don't see us having an unsponsored league.
No, neither do I.
By the start of the season.
We still don't have it.
We've gone quite a while without a sponsored league. But yeah, Scotland coefficient for the 23-24 season, they are starting in ninth. That's where this season's points going to, and they start only 1.1 points behind the Netherlands, in seventh place. Which, if you compare like the Netherlands to the Scotland setup, it's pretty crazy how close they've actually got.
Yeah.
To them. So
well, fingers crossed.
Well, also with more teams in Europe, but
at least it gets divided
all
by
it
five now
takes is
instead of
like-
divided by 4. So
all it takes is actually like one or two of the like third place teams, fourth place teams in Scotland to just win a game. Like the
but
extra.
if we get one of those teams into group stage European football,
yeah,
like it serves us better than we have been.
Celtic into group stage European football.
Oh yeah, obviously that's assuming that Celtic and Rangers both get group stage European football.
well, Rangers have it guaranteed. If they lose all their qualifying titles, do go into the Conference League group stages. They are guaranteed European group stage football.
Yeah.
Celtic need to win one tie of 3.
One game, yeah.
Of 3 games, so they are pretty much guaranteed it.
Don't say that.
St John's need to win one tie of 2 to get it guaranteed, which obviously it's not completely out the win.
Do we know if do you know how last season, obviously due to COVID, it was only one?
I think it's
one
back
game.
to 2 ties.
Yeah.
I think so. But I don't know where the
2 legs.
The scrapping of away goals comes into play by then or not. So
I don't know. We'll find out in due course, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be an interesting season for Scottish football next season in general.
Yep. I think that's everything. When we're back, well after the 2 friendlies, obviously, and before the first Euros game. Some point next week, we'll try and fit something in around people's schedules.
Yeah. And that'll be the podcast looking into the Euros, and as we
we'll take it from there.
It'll be
for that
an interesting time ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, indeedy. Well, we'll clear up. Craig, I don't know if you're still desperate, but you can say goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Billy.
Goodbye.
I'm on a few words tonight. Jure.
As always, guys, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
And Matt.
Yep, hope we're all keeping well, and good night.
Thank you. Hope you're feeling better soon, Matt.
Me too.
But yeah, hopefully no one else comes down with the COVID, especially coming up to the Euros.
Well, Gary has.
Has Gary got it now?
He does, yes.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
hopefully Gary gets better.
less than
Mhm.
ideal.
No,
Yeah.
he's really ruined. He's ruined his whole household.
Just half.
Well,
Nah,
did we discuss the games that the Premier Sports will be showing for the Premier Sports Cup?
because I didn't see which ones that it was.
Probably ages.
So,
Quickly run through.
yeah, we've got.
We'll do that. We'll do that next time. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it next
I
time.
don't know if
Fuck
that's
you, Craig.
confirmed.
I
Or
assume
no.
we're just cutting out and we can just finish it where we actually
No,
said
no,
goodbye.
no. Leave
No,
it.
I'm keeping that in as well now. From me,
You're rude.
we've been the Five Side Podcast, and we'll see you next week before the Euros, baby. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
God bless.